Hey guys, how's it going? Shane with Eastman Insurance, and today we are answering the question, Shane, is there coverage on my homeowner's policy for my firearms? This is somewhat of a complex question from a insurance standpoint when it comes to your homeowner's insurance, because there's really two different risks associated with having a firearm in your house. So first we're going to talk about the property aspect, then we're going to talk about the liability aspect. From a property standpoint, firearms are typically one of those items that are high theft and therefore has a sublimit written into the policy. Most commonly, an unendorsed policy only has around $3,500 coverage for firearms. You can address that one of two ways. You can do a blanket endorsement increase to say, hey, I want to take that threshold from $3,500 up to maybe $5,000 or $10,000. Or you can do what's called scheduling, and that's where you go a little bit more in detail and you schedule a per firearm up to a blanket limit or up to a maximum limit. And by doing that, by scheduling, what you're doing is, because you're paying a premium for that, you're removing the deductible from theft or destruction. And so firearms in California, depending on the type of firearm that it is, ranges anywhere from, maybe $300 or $400 up to $1,000 and beyond. Most homeowners deductibles are at a minimum of $1,000, even up to $2,500. And so depending on your collection, depending on the firearms that you have in your home, you may want to schedule those. In the event something happens to them, you're able to recoup the full cost. If your collection is a lot more broad, then you may want to schedule them for different reasons, just because you have over the $3,500 cap. The next thing I want to talk to you real briefly about is the liability aspect of having a firearm in your home. This has become a very hot debated topic, especially here in California, that is very anti-gun. There are some issues regarding the liability as far as, hey, if I need to defend myself in my home, or if somebody breaks into my home and steals a firearm and then uses it against somebody else, where does my liability from a homeowner standpoint take place or come into consideration? Here's where the rub lies. Written into your homeowner's insurance policy is an exclusion for what's called intentional acts. Now, being a firearm enthusiast myself and a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, if you break into my home and you pose a threat to myself or to my family and I defend myself, that's not me committing an intentional act. That's me committing a reaction to your threat. However, in the eyes of a claims adjuster, they may take the approach of, you had to make a conscious decision to pull the trigger and shoot somebody. And therefore, I'm not saying that the claim is going to be denied from a liability standpoint. I am saying more likely or more often than not, the can is going to be kicked down the road until all evidence can be brought, a decision can be made, and that could take a few years. And then if there is insurance coverage afforded, it would be on a reimbursement basis, and like I said, it may be a few years down the road. If you are someone that seeks to have a firearm or even a concealed carry permit, I highly, highly, highly encourage you, and I'm going to put a link in this video, I highly encourage you to check out what's called, it could be called self-defense insurance, it could be called concealed carry insurance. There's a lot of different vernacular for it, but essentially what it does is it removes all of those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and it specifically provides liability coverage in the event that you have lawfully, that is the key word, lawfully used a firearm in defense or protection of yourself or a family member, there is coverage that is afforded to you for from a civil standpoint, possibly from a criminal standpoint, defense attorney retainer, bail bonding coverage, what have you, depending on how things shake out. Like I said, it is a very hot topic. It's a very politically charged topic, especially here in California. And so you would be served if you are, listen, I understand we shouldn't have to take these measures as law-abiding citizens, gun owners. We should not have to take these steps. However, it doesn't matter. This is the reality of the situation is we have to. And so do your due diligence, check it out. It is a product that we do offer here at the agency. We have a niche called California Firearm Insurance, and we serve not only the personal aspect of firearm liability, but also commercial, so gun ranges, gun stores, so forth and so on here in California. So do your due diligence, check it out, ask questions. There are some different products out there on the market. Check them out, see what fits for you, where your pain points are or where your comfortability lies. It's a very inexpensive policy, in my opinion, for the coverage being afforded. It could be purchased for as little as $300 to $400 a year, depending on how you want to go. If you have any questions on it, don't hesitate to reach out, shoot me a message, give me a call. And I would love to discuss it more and just educate you to the point where you can make an educated decision where these come. So from a property standpoint, from a liability standpoint, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it on how you can properly protect yourself, your property, and your liability. All right, we are out of here, and I will catch you on the next video.